Let me ask you this: shifting gears a little bit away from the ethics of the business. Um, when I've done interviews or I've talked to people, I find myself I ask good questions. I'm a pretty good judge of character. The questions that you're asking, the story that you're hearing, that you're learning, that okay, this is what happened, and then what happened, and then what happened. Let's go over it again. What do you do in order to make sure that you're getting to really the meat of the instance or the truth of the story?
Well, there is a procedure that is routinely utilized. It's known, lawyers call it discovery. So when a person is charged with a crime, one of their rights is to have a copy of any records that are contained in the prosecutor's file. It's necessary to invoke that right by requesting that in writing, but once the request in writing is made, the prosecutors have to provide you with a copy of whatever records that they have that they've used in their investigation, or that police who were involved in the investigation have just turned over to them. You're entitled to have that. And as an attorney, one of the important services that I'm providing to anybody who's charged with a public offense, or in other words, a crime, is that I am evaluating the case by using that as one source of information also. So of course, it's important that, because the client can tell me their version of events, tell me that information, but then I also have the ability to see, what other people are saying. So I can imagine, especially having, been to, well over 100 trials in my life and being a lawyer in those trials, I can visualize what the cast of characters are going to be, who is going to come, what they're going to say, how that's going to play for the jury in light of what else the jury is going to know about that person, that sort of thing. That's really a very important part of the service that I'm providing, is after I look at all these different sources of information, I have a pretty good idea about how this is going to go for them if it goes to the mat, so to speak. Now, another, I think, fact worth mentioning is the vast majority of criminal cases, I don't know a actual number, but I would estimate it 97 or 98% of those cases settle. So most cases are not going to trial.
Wow.
Okay? Most cases are settling, like almost all cases settle, and the reason for that, I think, is that when you have an attorney on each side of the aisle, you have a prosecutor, you have a defense attorney, both of them are looking at the same evidence, even though, for example, some witnesses may be lying, but both attorneys are considering all these moving parts, and they can come to an agreement about a range of likely outcomes, and it's apparent enough. Usually it ends in a settlement, and part of the reason for that too is that prosecutors' offices and the courts don't have the resources to have a trial in every one of these cases, and so it has value to the system to offer defendants a concession, a discount, if you will, in order to settle the case, because even expending the resource of the court's time, a judge, a bailiff, a clerk, prosecutor, all that, it has value. So if people are concerned if they've been charged with a crime or crimes, it might give them some relief to know that if their strategy is basically to be honest and own up to all of this, although it's a mistake in my opinion for anyone to ever just go in and throw themselves on the mercy of the court. But what they should know is that any competent attorney should be able to make an arrangement to mitigate the consequences of the whole incident just by having a conversation with the prosecutor's office. That's an important service that attorneys offer, although you don't see that on dramatizations of courtroom drama. That's an aspect of lawyering that you don't often see.
Right.